division! Fear no pain!
Fear no pain!
It takes a special person!
It takes a special person
to play this game!
Play this game!
When I go to work!
When I go to work!
And things get whacked!
Things get whacked!
I have no fear!
Right here, this is called the Palmer's Dollhouse. Built this a few days ago. Takes a lot of time, and now I'm just going to burn it down.
Due to the natural compartmentalization of a structure fire, most structure fires tend to have a limited air supply. Why is that? Why is there a limited air supply in this room, the way we're set up right now?
It's enclosed too.
It's enclosed, right?
Right here, this is going to be the start of our fire room. Okay, so we're going to have an ignition in here. What are the types of ignition that we have?
Piloted, auto.
Piloted and auto, right?
At some point in time, if we have a fire in here and it gets big enough, because we have all this release of heat and it starts preheating everything, all the material in this room, and it starts off-gassing it all, and there's enough heat, it starts on fire, we have sustained combustion, it's going to be drawing in as much oxygen as we can.
There's nothing in here that's going to auto-ignite unless it gets enough heat just naturally. That's not going to happen. There is some hay there, but it's pretty dry, so it's not going to do that. So we're going to have a piloted ignition.
But we designed this building to not let all the air come in here or all this air go out there, right? Because we want to have a nice, comfortable atmosphere for you to learn in.
There's a penetration in the wall here, so this is split basically into 4 areas in the house. So there's a penetration, so we'll start moving some fire over here. Then there's another penetration into this room. We'll start moving some fire up, and then we'll open it up into that attic space. Okay, so we're going to make that fire travel this whole house.
So because of that, if this is a really tight built building, is it going to be able to draw in all the oxygen it needs to burn every single piece of material in this room? Probably not.
Why don't you guys come a little bit closer and just take a look so you can see kind of the construction, what it looks like.
I'm teaching fire dynamics for the recruit class. I think it's super important to understand how fire behaves, and if you have a better understanding of fire dynamics and how fire influences buildings and structures, we can have a better idea of how to put a fire out and then protect civilians who don't have gear and PPE and protect ourselves.
I just wanted to start with a couple experiments just so that we get a better understanding. We were talking about flowing water in the smoke, right? And you guys will talk about that more as the academy progresses, but just imagine that this is all that smoke, right? Put your hand on that bottle. It's pretty hot, right?
Yes, sir.
So there's just hot water in here. What do you think these molecules of the water are doing? Yeah, they're moving, right? They're excited. These molecules are excited, so they're moving really fast, giving off that heat, right? This is that exothermic reaction. What's this? Regular water, right? Put your hand in there. It's just room temperature, right? It's not that cold, okay? That's probably what we're going to be floating on the fire. This isn't that hot, but I put it in here. What do you think's happening to those molecules? They're starting to slow down, right? Causing the bottle and that space in the bottle to shrink up. All it took was that, right?
It's really important to just understand, what effect we can have on fire. If we understand how it works, how it builds, we know what to expect inside of a building fire, then we can anticipate the needs and have a better game plan to be able to put the fire out and get it under control.
So I put this cotton in here. It's really not burning all that much, right? You saw there was some reaction to it, but now it's pretty much out. There's nothing to it, right? And you saw that on that couch. Hopefully there's no fire left here. Okay. So you guys saw that on that couch where it didn't really burn all that fast, right? It was pretty slow. Set up the fire alarm. What's this? Styrofoam, right? What is it? Modern fuel, that's synthetic hydrocarbon, okay? I don't probably have enough heat, but look at the smoke that starts to put off. How insane is that, right? Just a little bit, and it's putting off this nasty black smoke. That's what everything in our houses are pretty much made out of.
Science is really what leads us to determine the best tactics to deal with the fire. So if we understand the science behind it and the way all these fire dynamics work, we can better develop tactics to rapidly intervene and prevent that fire from getting any bigger or spreading to other structures or other areas of the house.
So we talked about different heat transfer. What are the three? Convection, radiation, and conduction, right? So if I put my hand above like Instructor Scully talked about, I have to move it away, right? Because why? There's some convection and radiation. Very rarely do you get any, or you really don't get any of them on their own, right? They all react together. The only one that I don't have is that conduction, because nothing's touching it, right? So radiation and conduction would be together, or radiation and convection, I think that's what I said, would be together, and then conduction has to have something touching it or getting warm, right? Does that make sense? So if I put my hand over it, I have to move it away, okay? What's that burning at? Approximate temperature of the flame? 1500 to 1700, right?
It seems like it's opening a new door of where we're headed. Haven't really seen a whole lot of fire just yet. Kind of getting some basic concepts down and learning the fundamentals. But being able to see that, and it's kind of an indicator of things to come and what we can expect to see in the weeks to come.
If I take this bag, no air in it, and I just put my lips to it, I really didn't do anything, right? But when Will Coxon had this bag, opened it up, now I just filled it all with air, right? Why did that happen? Not necessarily a flow path. Venturi effect, right? Science. Science and physics. I bet you guys thought you'd get in this job and you wouldn't have to go to school, right? This is where the fun comes into play, right? Now we get to put visual and some sense into that presentation, all the knowledge that you just learned, right? Look at that smoke. That's nice, right? That's good smoke. We know it's not that nasty black smoke yet, right? What happens if we start to choke it down? Can you guys see it becomes almost a full exhaust, right? Because that fire can't take any more air. Look at that, look at those flames propagating through that smoke, right? That's what we're talking about. That's that vent point ignition. That's that smoke becoming the fuel, right? It's not burning super clean. Does that make sense? So this is what we're talking about, right? You can see it pushing out of all these orifices. You can even see some coming from the back here. While we try to get this fire going a little bit more, let's talk about wind, right? So if we pull this open, let's say that's a window. Do you see the intensity? Now look at the smoke there, right? That's pretty good. Look at that. Just a little bit, right? It'll get better as we go, hopefully. But you can see how much that fire starts to push out, right? Those molecules get excited, and then it has a place to go. Look at how high those flames are, right? Is anything on the outside burning right now? What's burning? The smoke, perfect. Right, look at that. There's barely any fire in that room. There's a little bit of an event, right? Look at that smoke. What's this? Intake or exhaust? Exhaust, right. Look at the intensity, right? I opened up the door, now I have a real good exhaust. Okay, so this is our fire room. Does the fire room have to be open for it to get air? So if I open up this one and I close that one, it'll get air, right? Do you guys see the intensity change? Okay, so let's say this window's open, right? And then we open up the front door and it's a windy day. Where is all that smoke going? To the top, right? So now we just created that blowtorch effect through that whole house, okay? The smoke went away because this is a real small scale. But just imagine we opened up the door, we went in and searched, and we closed the door like we should, right? We did our due diligence. We're up in this area searching, right? Looking for who? Victims, right? So we're searching that area, and then somebody opens up that front door with a windy day. Bad news, right? So we have to pay attention to that wind direction. We got to be smart about what we're doing. I don't know if you can see it. It went away. There's fire blowing through that floor, which is really cool. It's just dancing on the floor. Pretty good little fire behavior there, right? Ah, look at that. Can you guys see that in there? It's all pressurized in there, right? Can you guys all see it? If you can't see it, come up here. Hurry up. You see it burning all the smoke, right? It's just squeezing through the cracks, trying to get everything it can. When we talk about firefighting, it's that vent point ignition. That's just smoke up there, right? There's nothing structurally burning. I see fire though. Did I really put it out? Not really, right? there's a good chance that it comes back as soon as it gets that heat again. That makes sense? So when we're talking about basement fires or fires that are kind of above us in that area, we really got to pay attention to it, because if I just hit the flame, it doesn't do me any good. What do I need to hit? The seat of the fire, right? Look at how much pressure is coming out of there. Pretty sweet, right? Look at that nasty smoke, right? That's pretty gnarly. Look at all that smoke that it's producing. That's what we were talking about earlier, where the fire is burning more intense, right? It's burning faster than that smoke can be eaten up. Unclean burn, right? Now, we've been burning in this house for a while. There's quite a bit of smoke in there, but do you think that's still survivable? I'd say so, right? Floor's still intact. Yeah, there's smoke all the way through, but it's a fire that's below, right? Just imagine that being on the first floor or someplace where it's more isolated down the hallway. Good survivable space. Look at that good smoke, man. Now just imagine, right? This is OSB. We talked about it being synthetic, right? It's got that glue in there. What do you think your house has in it? Many, many, many more times this, right? Couches, beds, furniture, all the things. Look at the change. You see that fire come out of there? All right, just because I changed it a little bit, and you can hear it. Like, that's what's crazy to me, is you can hear that fire roaring. Is there anything burning in that room? Nothing, right? It's just all that smoke. Look at that flame popping up through there, right? We saw some of those videos of those basement fires. That's what it is, right? We could see that fire down below, and then we have that smoke. That smoke is from top or bottom to top, right? I know that's a gnarly fire. Look at that inversion. Woo! Coming out of the house, and it's just getting that proper mix, right? And it's creating that blowtorch effect. Do you think that's survivable space in that room? No. Probably not. Would you enter that room? No. I know I wouldn't. Look at that. Oh, that is so nice. Just chugging away. Ah, look at that change. Just lit off that whole room, right? Okay, so let's say it's a first floor fire. You guys will go through some of this later on. And I go and I hit it. Did I put it out? Nope. Because where's that fire? First floor. Did I do any good though? Yeah, it helped a little bit. But that's all it takes, right? And just remember, that's all it is. Look at the inlet. Look at how much air it's pulling in. There's a couple holes because the structure's starting to fail. But there's no smoke coming out of there, right? So the fire is very well involved. We started in what stage? Incipient. Then we had growth, right? I created that growth by adding some air. Now we're in what? Almost fully developed, right? There's still some good fuel, but a lot of those rooms are fully developed. And then we'll work our way into decay in a little bit here. All right, so we pretty much lost the majority of the integrity. Inside of that room is pyrolyzing, right? Like, it's all off-gassing, and then that smoke's coming out. There's definitely some structure involved in it right now. Look at the intensity change. Can you imagine if you open the door? We talked about that Bernoulli effect, right? Look at how much that changed that fire. Can you guys feel the heat? Are you a little uncomfortable? A little bit warmer than a campfire. Smoke explosion and backdraft. I'm not that smart of a guy, so I'm not even going to try to differentiate the two. To me, it's a hostile fire event, right? I know that it's going to hurt me and whoever's inside that fire. So what happens is it gets that, whatever it's missing, right? Whether it's the heat or the oxygen, it's already got the fuel, right? That's why it's that smoke. Whew. When that smoke explosion happens, it's just the expansion of all those molecules. We talked about it in that bottle, right? What are hot molecules doing? They're moving, right? They're bouncing everywhere, okay? Those molecules in that fire, in that smoke, they're moving. But they're moving a little slow. They're a little lazy.
I think one of the wild moments was, I mean, how little ignition was really necessary to get some of those exhaust smokes to light, and just the amount of heat that's even being generated by such a small replica structure of a dollhouse is really impressive. So I'm just kind of trying to wrap my brain around what that would look like on a larger scale. It's
exciting to be hands-on finally, and doing firefighter stuff and moving past things like hazmat that maybe weren't the funnest for us in the class, which is stuff we have to do. But it's just fun to get on hands-on and start kind of, you know, doing real fire things.
So we were able to acquire the Academy Pride Axe, and so we've come down. They have to perform a they have to fulfill our ransom demands in order to get it back. So we're gonna put them through a little team building workout type of thing, and then have them raise our 11A shift flag in place of their Academy flag, and talk to them about pride and ownership and taking responsibility for their equipment and each other.
So this is the new and improved Academy Pride Axe, the Station 11 version. Obviously we got our baseball right here. Our station's big baseball fans, and we have a former college baseball player on our crew. As you can see, it's Cody Andre, Engine 11 Delta on the A shift.
Why the feathers? Why the colors?
Gold, because we consider Station 11 to be the gold standard for the fire department, at least on our crew. We got our little logo right here, which incorporates some of the local things we have. Which, if you look on the back right here, we have the Colorado School for the Blind in our first due, so we have our station motto dotted out in Braille here for them.
What's the station motto?
Embrace the suck.
What is it?
Embrace the suck.
Okay.
And then the feathers and the lace, just because it was a nice touch, adds a little flair. And then we got the little Lego guys here representing all the different nationalities that we have in the fire department.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. And we have something you guys want. You guys recognize this? Looks a little bit different, right? Okay. So I just want to talk to you guys a little bit. The challenge that we're going to have you guys do today, you're going to do a run from down here up and around the drill ground up and around the drive pad twice, carrying the axe. The axe is going to start in the front of the line. It's going to get passed down the line. When it gets to the last person in line, they will then sprint to the front, and the process will start over. After 2 laps, you're going to come back down here, and then you're going to take our 11A flag up to the 5th floor, lower the Academy flag, and you're going to fly our flag over your drill ground for a week. The point of the run is teamwork and pride and ownership. I know that you guys have squad leaders that get assigned to be the protector of the axe every week, correct? That doesn't fall on one individual. That is everybody's job to ensure that this stays safe.
Leave me down the railroad track! Leave me down the railroad track! Put that 5 gas in my hand! Put that 5 gas in my hand! I'm gonna be a hazmat man! I'm gonna be a hazmat man! The best I can! The best I can! For Uncle Sam! For Uncle Sam! Re up, you're crazy! Re up, you're crazy! Re up, you're out of your mind!
And the point of that is responsibility, ownership, and policing your gear. It's super important, especially when you get out on the streets. You'll see when we get onto fires and stuff, gear gets mixed-matched everywhere, and you have to be responsible for your stuff. This is your axe. Take pride in it. The point of flying our flag over your drill ground is that there is only one 24-1 Academy in the entire history of the South Metro Fire Protection District, and that is you guys. Just like we are the only 11A shift in the entire department. We take a lot of pride in who we are, and you guys need to take a lot of pride in who you are. So every time you look up there this next week and you see our flag flying over your drill ground, it should hurt. We have raccoons that live in our dumpster that we see regularly, and a lot of other stuff. You guys have a golden opportunity right now to define what 24-1 is going to be. So however you guys want to lower your flag and put ours up, let's get it done. You guys need to really start working together, taking pride in one another, helping each other out, and developing that pride and ownership that we talk about. Is everybody clear on that? Sure. Make sure it's not upside down, because we are not in distress.
You guys are. Yours upside down.
Good? Oh, yeah, diligence, responsibility. Someone's got it. You got to be like really intentional about claiming and being responsible for it. It's like if everyone's responsible for it, no one's responsible for it. And And that's not just with these two things, I guess. That's translatable to a lot of things, which is why Engine 11 here has given us the business, rightfully so.